What up, what up, what up? Welcome, Motivational Mike and Lucas Montana.
Yo.
Excited to have you guys back.
Excited to be back.
Before this podcast, I went on a walk with my mom, like a 10-minute walk, and she was on the phone with my brother. My brother was going on a whole rant about energy. And I was like, what the heck is he talking about? So my mom actually made this. You know how back then, I don't know if your parents did it, but my mom used to walk around with like a camera, and she has it on VHS. Is that what it's called?
Like the camcorder? Like she was holding a camcorder?
She had like a video camera, and she has it in VHSs. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
And DVDs, and she just moved them all to digitally. So we all rewatched them on our phones and computers, and it was really cool seeing everything. And my older brother, Cody, he watched them, and he's now raising a kid. So he's like, oh shit, like I want to start learning from this so I could learn how to raise my kid. And the thing that he learned most about it was how much time my parents spent with him when he was younger, and how they were never negative around him. They were always positive. So that's something I wanted to bring up, because I believe I talk about it all the time, being around positive people instead of negative people, and how much your energy matters. So what do you guys think about energy and manifestation, all that stuff that you kind of is around, but you don't physically see it?
I think that was super, super great for your parents to raise Cody like that and spend time with him. And that definitely carried throughout his life and into your family's life. And now he's going to raise the kid in a similar manner, in a positive way. So I feel like that's just, if you help one generation, it'll help the next one in a positive way.
What about you, Mikey? Like, what do you think about positive energy, negative energy? Do you believe in it, or you think it's just bullshit?
I believe in it, of course. I mean, I'm a positive person. I try to spread as much positive energy as I can. I think there's definitely both sides of it, but I'm more positive.
Dude, you're media trained over here. Come on, speak from the heart.
I am, bro.
What about you, Lucas?
Yeah, I believe in what's it called?
Manifestation.
But I don't believe in like the chakras and stuff like that, if that's what you mean by positive stuff.
I don't either.
You don't believe in the what?
Chakras.
Like the 7 chakras?
What's that?
Oh, so basically, the 7 chakras is a way to open up, like, I have no idea. It's complicated, dude.
Michael, do you know?
I've heard about it. I think it's like yoga.
Yeah, it's like meditation,
right?
yoga. It's like you open up the 7 chakras and you bring in all this energy. And it's like positivity.
I don't believe in that.
So you think it's just a bunch of bullshit?
I don't think it's bullshit. I just feel like, I mean, maybe one day I'll go like full on monk mode, go join them, go to the mountains, become a monk, open up my chakras. I feel like that'd be fun. Go bald. But I do believe in like manifestation. I think it's very important that people manifest like what they want to do in their life. Because what I do believe in is like, if you build like the self-image about yourself in your head, it will start becoming true. Like self-affirmation. Have you guys ever done something? I like Tanner, leading up to your fight, have you ever been like, I'm going to beat this kid. Like, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And then
I understand what you're saying.
And you win. If you keep on repeating it in your head, it will become something that it's like still
because that's
in
the only end goal.
Yeah,
there's
it
no
becomes
other way.
still in your brain, and then you'll stick with that. Like if you keep on saying to yourself like, all right, yeah, which the example you had, yeah, that's
or Michael like doing his challenge. I'm gonna complete this challenge. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Like on that last one, was that everything that was going through your mind? Like there was no other choice? Basically,
I was going to do whatever it took, and I didn't stop in like the last day. So like I just kept going. I was like, no matter how bad it hurts, I put so much time into this. I'm finishing it no matter what.
Like you about to say something, Lucas?
Yeah, I had an example. Like for Michael, who did the running thing, if he said to himself, I am a runner, I run these miles every day, and this is easy to me, over time, it'll just trigger his brain to make him think he actually is like a runner, like a sports runner, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll trick himself like, okay, this is easy, and over time will get easier and easier as it goes.
I agree with you. I think that a lot of things, it might look like it's physically damaging you on the outside, but it's really all in your mind. Like running, for example, I said it last podcast, it's just a mind game. If you convince yourself that you're going to finish and you're going to complete that race, you can complete that run that you're doing, you're going to do it. But I want to go back to the positive and negative energy, because let's say I have a friend group. How much do you guys like? We have a friend who is always ranting about himself and has stuff to say and stuff. When does that get too much? Like, when does that get overbearing? Like, he's putting his negative energy on us. Do you guys understand what I'm saying or no?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you should talk about yourself 50% and listen to other people. I feel like when it's just all about him and he just kind of takes like the spotlight every single time, then it's pretty overbearing. I mean, I'm biased, but I don't know. What about you, Lucas? I'm kind of biased for this person, but
I mean, you get to a point where you care, but you don't care that much, and you just have to learn to let things go and not let it affect you.
Do you guys have someone in your life where you put negative energy on them by just ranting without realizing you're doing it? Like for me, it's with you guys, I like to listen to your stuff. And if you guys want to bring your energy on me, I'm all for that because I'm your friends. Like I'm here to listen to you guys. But for me, what I like to rant to my mom or my dad and bring my energy on them because I know they can handle it. Like so that's who I go to. So who do you guys go to listen to or to rant to?
I think it's okay to rant to people who you trust and who you know are like able to hear you out. You shouldn't go. I feel like you should go to someone who's neutral, like not someone who's in the situation you're ranting about, to an outside source who'll be able to guide you correctly.
I see that. But what do you mean that? What do you mean by that? Like guide you how?
Guide you by like not swaying your opinion one way or another, guiding you. But all right, all right, when there's a dispute between two people, you have a mediator, right? It's called a mediation. A mediation is when there's two people of opposing parties have two sides of the stories and they're arguing about something. The mediator is the person in the middle who tells them like how to solve it, something like that.
I want to say an example. Like I want to say something that happened in my life after Michael. If you got nothing to say about this topic, then I'll take it away.
No, I mean definitely. I think venting and like ranting is good just for your mental health to get whatever is off your mind. But I would go to family and friends, anyone that's the closest around me that cares to hear what I have to say, and that's who I would go to.
I feel like that's big because I like to rant to people who I know are actually listening and care. Like if I'm just talking to someone just for them to be like, but I want them to actually listen and respond, not listen and just talk back to me. But what I was going to say before is, So here's an example. So with me and my ex, you know how you said the mediation thing? Whenever we would get in fights, we had like a rule where we had to go to someone in our lives that we know liked us, that we know had no problem with one another. So like I went to my mom because my mom, she liked Nicole, like she was fine with her. And then Nicole ended up going to her aunt. Like not her friends didn't like me, so she ended up going to her aunt when she wanted to talk things out. So that's just an example of what you said, kind of.
That is an example, but there's always two sides of the stories. So you can't really like, if you're in an argument, you can't really be mad at the person. You have to understand that like there's always two sides of the stories and you don't know how they feel on their side of the argument and they don't know how you feel on their side of the argument. So the only way to combat that is just come to like a similar understanding because not everyone's going to agree on the same exact thing. You have to be able to like, I mean, it depends on the person. Like you have to be able to like put your fucking losses in the bag and just, move on with it. Because at the end of the day, you're both like trying to come to a common ground. But if it doesn't work, can't do anything about that.
I feel like that's like one of the hardest things to put your ego to the side and really listen and accept that you could be wrong. And a lot of people don't like to do that.
It is tough. But that's just what being the bigger person is. But that's actually something I want to touch up on is ego. So I was reading this thing earlier today. No, I actually have a question about ego. Ready?
What's up?
So, do you think you need to have an ego to be successful?
Does that also go with the question, do you feel like you need to be cocky to be successful? Or are those two different things? Like, it's ego and cocky different?
Yeah, no idea.
You have no idea?
Not gonna lie.
I'll answer the question after
All
Michael
right.
goes.
I feel like they're
Yeah.
similar. I mean, not necessarily, because I feel like if you have an ego, you might shut people out in your life and feel like, oh, you're better than someone else. But everyone's got something to offer. And even if you are successful, you can still take advice from other people that maybe aren't as successful as you, but have went through it on a similar path. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I don't really have an ego, but I feel like you don't have to have an ego to be successful. That's my opinion.
I feel like I see that and I hear your point of view, but it all depends on what your version of success is. Because if your version of success is to stay close to your family and
Okay,
friends while you're making money
all
and
right,
stuff, then it's
I'm
different.
sorry to cut
Yeah.
you off, but that was a little broad. Let me make it more general. Let's say,
Yeah,
do
go
you
for
think you have to have like an ego to be successful in terms of like your work and career?
Working career.
Yeah.
I don't think you should have an ego because everybody you're around has a different input on whatever you're
Exactly.
listening to or you're working on. So I agree with Michael that you have to put your ego to the side to listen to other people. What do you think, Lucas?
I mean, I think sometimes you need that ego
Mm-hmm.
because there's a fine line between ego and confidence. All right. Confidence is being the ability to be confident in yourself and choose the correct options. But don't you believe that sometimes your confidence comes from your ego? Like you build confidence, but then having that confidence makes you have this ego. And then having that, you kind of make the decisions on your own. It really depends where you want to end up in life, but I feel like it's important to have it because like, I feel like society has told us that like, don't have have an ego, like don't do this, don't do that, kind of like shutting you down. But what if like, that's not the right way of doing things?
I feel like confidence and ego could be different because an ego, I feel like that's just you shutting people out and you only listening to yourself because you know you're better than everybody else. But confidence is something that is built over time. Like Michael is confident in him running is him running 6 miles because he's ran for months because he's been doing this challenge. He's confident that he's going to complete it this time. I'm confident that I'm going into my modeling thing tomorrow looking sharp because I put the work into it. But if I had an ego, then I could say, I already look good. I don't have anything else to do. So I feel like that's my answer to it.
I think like an ego, what an ego is just lack of being humble or like lack of humility and just, I don't know, being like self-absorbed and thinking you can't really improve anything. You're already better, like kind of like the best, or like you have no room for improvement. That's what I feel like it is.
No, that's true. I think I agree with Michael when he says humility, because that's like the fine line between ego and confidence is humility. If you're able to have confidence, humility at the same time, you can become someone very successful in life, because being able to know that you're in the wrong is a good thing. Because like if I get into argument with someone knowing I'm in the wrong, that's a good thing to know, because you're like you don't care about that ego. But in the business sense, I feel like sometimes you need to have an ego to like outcompete the other people around you. Because if you're competing against millions of people every day in like work and in life, you have to be able to prove to them like why you're better than the person right next to you. Like when you come to getting a job, everyone's gonna have a bachelor's degree. What's gonna set you aside from the other person?
I feel like what could set you aside is your work ethic. But I also see.
I know, but they don't see your work ethic though.
I know. I see where you're coming from, because I relate it to basketball. The person with the biggest ego on the court plays the best because they're confident. They know they're the best, and that could relate to business.
Exactly.
So I see what you're talking about. What do you think, Michael?
True. I mean, with the basketball analogy, I mean, you could just like people with the biggest egos feel like they could also be ball hogs and try not to pass the ball, get like other people involved. And that could just be in business. Maybe you think you could do everything yourself, but in the long run, maybe it's better to take on some employees and I don't know, help other people out while helping yourself out. That's kind of like how I would relate to it.
It's a double-edged sword because you might not listen to your coach, you might not get along with your teammates. So what do you think the best traits are to have as someone to be successful in the business world?
Confidence and humility.
What's humility?
It's like a checkpoint between ego and confidence. It's like you're able to identify that you're in the wrong and like it's okay to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, the best, I think definitely the best trait for in business is definitely to be honest, because no one wants to go into business with someone that's dishonest and maybe that's trying to swindle their customers or maybe other people. I feel like you can't do business with someone if they're not honest and not running an honest practice. That definitely goes before work ethic. And then I think work ethic is definitely super important. And then like humility, like you said.
I'd go with the three that Michael said. I like those as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a hard question. It's deep. Yeah. I mean, it really depends what route you're going down. That was a great question. Yeah. The ego thing. Mm-hmm. So where's the difference between confidence and ego?
Humility.
You guys think? I want to go back to that question.
Like being humble. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's
if you're not humble, that's when you have an ego.
When you're not humble about the things you do, like you guys ever met someone who's egotistical? Like been in a room with someone who has like a big ego?
Yes.
Yeah, like you can obviously tell. Who? Oh,
yeah. I feel like someone has a big ego because they're the most insecure in the room.
Bro, you actually said it.
That's huge.
That's actually huge. That's just what I wanted to bring up next, how the people who have the most ego are the ones who are the most insecure about themselves.
Because they want to show everybody, like, for example, remember after my fight when we went to the restaurant and
I wasn't there.
You guys, all right, Lucas, the guy who rubbed your head. I'm not going to say any names. Yeah.
I wish there's
this one guy who I used to.
Oh my God. That guy, man.
Isn't it Greg or something?
I'm not going to say any names, but if you know, you know. He was a part of a family that I used to be close with. He walks around with a giant ego. And my dad was talking to him at the dinner table after my fight, and he is just talking about all this stuff he's doing, blah, blah. And I feel like he's saying all that because he's insecure and he wants to show this mask that he covers his face up with, but he doesn't want to take off the mask and show who he really is.
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, like the ones who are the most quiet are the ones who have like, what's that quote, Michael?
A wise man once said nothing at all.
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, that's the quote.
Yeah. I agree, bro.
No, I think the best what's it called? The best trait to have is to listen, not hear people, but to listen, because
there's a difference.
You throw your ego to the side and you actually care about what someone's saying. But I want to talk about that, the ego and insecurity. Do you guys feel like people have a big ego in it?
Before we get on that, I want to also say that, like, when it comes to, I feel like ego does play an important role in life as well. Because when it comes to the gym, like, I know there's people that lift way heavier than me, but sometimes, you got to have an ego when it comes to lifting those weights. Cause like it's really, lifting weights is such a mental game. Cause last week I was doing incline bench press and I was doing 45 for 45 and 10. And this week I'm like, I know I can do it. Like I wanted to go up in weight. So I was like, kind of like telling myself, like, I know I can go up in weight. Like, this is nothing to me. So it's like kind of psyching yourself out to like doing the thing you don't want to do. Mm-hmm. That's, I can like tie back to like when you say like not manifestation, but like having a self-image of someone that you want to be, and like living that can like make you do it.
I have a really deep question.
Yeah, man,
so
go ahead.
Hit us.
I've actually never like answered this question or anything. I've never even heard it. So let's say, when you look in the mirror and you see yourself, right? Let's say every morning you looked in the mirror and you saw the person that you were working so hard to be. Would you still work as hard as you are now to be that person? And why?
Like if I already had like the success?
If you saw, like, let's say right now I am skinny, I don't like have like my crazy abs back. And let's say I looked in the mirror and I had like all the abs, I was like toned, I had no acne on my face. Would I still go for runs? Would I still go walk in the morning? Would I still push myself as hard as I could if I just
So
saw it?
are you saying you just like got it with an instant? Or
No,
you,
I don't have it, but I see it. Like you
You
guys,
see it,
Oh.
like would it be
you
guaranteed
guys,
in the
you guys
future?
still see me how I am now,
But you see
I look in
yourself.
the mirror and I see a different me.
So this isn't body dysmorphia. This is just
No,
like
it's like
generally.
it's like psyching yourself out to believe that you're already there.
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's
Feel-
that's a good thing. I feel like
Do you think you'd still work as hard?
yeah, I feel like you'd work as hard because you want to maintain what you have at the moment. You don't want that
Mhm.
going away. I mean, yes, you would like allow a couple of like cheats here and there because like think about it. If you're shredded, like a pizza or burger won't hurt. Like a day, like one day out of the week. But I feel like that's a valid thing. But I don't know.
I would say I would work harder just to see the results faster and get to that point. That's what I would do.
But you're already there. I mean, you
No,
see
Michael,
yourself
in
as
your
already
in
there.
your
In the
head,
mind.
in your head, you're
Yeah.
already there, but everyone else
Yeah.
doesn't see you as there.
Oh,
Like
that's
you're
what it is?
delusional. It's like you being delusional.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still work hard.
It's
I guess.
kind of like those fat
Yeah.
chicks posting on Insta of like body positive. Like you see, like I look good, but everybody
It's like
else
that.
sees them, and you're like, you're fat.
Yeah, I would work hard. I mean, my work ethic would be the same, if not more, like increase.
Well,
Wow.
that's society for you, man. I mean, everyone thinks differently from each other. Michael would work harder. I think I'd work the same. Maybe have like a pizza or two on the way up.
I wouldn't work as hard. That's the thing.
You
Like
wouldn't?
if I saw myself, if I knew in my head like I'm already there, I would. I
mean,
how do you say it? I would make it like a reason to go cheat and stuff.
I mean, here's the thing. If you think you're already there, you're just going to get comfortable. And
Mhm.
the way to avoid that is by setting goals. I feel like you have to set goals for yourself. Like build a routine or set goals, because if you don't, then you're just obviously going to get off track.
Do you think David Lade, like the guy, isn't he like the really ripped one?
Yeah, he's like.
Do you
the
think he
insane abs.
looked in the mirror and was like, all right, I look good, I'm set? Or do you think he was
No
always,
way.
do you think he was comfortable in
way.
that body that he had?
Never. No, he just kept
That's insane.
improving himself.
One
Yeah.
thing
It is
about going to the gym, what I've learned, I've heard from other people, is that you're never satisfied with how you look.
Uh-huh.
You'll never be satisfied. Like you think you look good, but everyone thinks you look good, but to yourself, you think you're fat, ugly, and like back at square one.
It's scary.
That's how it is.
It's a dark path.
So back to the thing I talked about in the beginning. Do you think your friends should be telling you that you look good if you have a little bit of work to do? Or do you think they should just tell you you look good if, I don't know, like, do you think they should be honest or no? And
Yeah.
like to a point?
Look, honesty is key to anything in life.
Friendship.
To
Especially
friendship.
Mhm.
Yeah, but sometimes I feel like you have to think, if you have a friend that's fat and everyone's constantly telling them, yo, you're fat, you gotta lose weight, yo, you're fat, you gotta lose weight, you're fat, you gotta lose weight. You have to think to the point it's gonna get to them in their head, right? They're either one, they're gonna change, or two, they're not, and they're just gonna get depressed because their friends think they're fat. Change only happens to the person when they want it to happen to themselves.
Mhm.
You can never force someone to change. It only happens to themselves. If they want to change, they will change. You can try to help them, but at the end of the day, it's particularly up to that person who wants to change.
Real. Good shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would say I would say for that example, like with the fat person, maybe they're getting bullied by strangers they don't even know. But I feel like if it's coming from someone like in their close circle, maybe their friends or family, and they're being honest with them, it'll mean more to them. And they'll realize, wow, I mean, I value your input a lot more than people I don't know. So maybe they would change if you told them that. That's why I feel like you should be honest with your friends. And they know that, you know, you guys are friends. This friend means well, and it would just go a long way.
So my mom told me this after her watching the Ben Chase motivation podcast. She said, Tanner, you're answering these questions, but you're not telling the viewers how you're doing it. You're just giving the basic answer, like, oh, to gain confidence, you have to be confident, but you're not saying how to be confident. So I'm relating this to what we're talking about now, because let's say I have a friend that's fat. If I tell him, bro, you're fat, like you got to lose weight, you're fat, you got to lose weight, I feel like it would help him a lot more if I actually went and did it with him. Yo, let's wake up tomorrow morning. We're going to go for a run. We're going to get some healthy food. So I think there's more than just telling them. And I think you really have to do it with them and show them that you're there for them.
Yeah, there's that. But at the
they
end
have to want it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like you can do that, but you can do that for a week, and the next week not help them. But are they going to show up?
Exactly. I mean, it all goes back to you have to want it yourself. You're 100% right.
You're going to have to want it, Mike.
I do.
Come on, Mike, you got to want it.
I do, bro. I want it.
What's your biggest takes from this podcast before we finish up?
I'll say my biggest take is, since you're young, or it depends how young you are, it's okay to have an ego at this age. All right, you're learning, but you have to remember there's a fine line between ego and confidence. That's humility. Make sure you're able to humble yourself, and from that you become confident and be successful in your work, business, life in general.
I like that. What about you, Mike?
My biggest takeaway would definitely be honesty. And I think you have to be honest with yourself. I think the more honest you are with yourself, the less of an ego you have, and the easier it'll be for you to have humility. And I think with the friend situation, just be honest with your friends. Like you said, Tanner, be there for them, support them. If someone's struggling, definitely just, I feel like just be honest, be like, I'm here for you no matter what, but it is time to make a change, and I'll help you make that change. That's just my takeaway.
Yeah, because they have to want it. You're right.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway, I feel like I always go back to this. It all has to do with who you surround yourself around. The beginning of the podcast, we talked about energy, and you have to surround yourself around people with positive energy and people who bring you up, because if someone drains your energy, you're going to go and drain someone else's energy, and it's just a whole cycle. And then also with the ego thing, try to surround yourself around people who are humble, and people who are humble and confident at the same time and don't have an ego, because you're not going to enjoy being around people who think they're better than you and think they can't learn anything from you. I mean, 100%. I go around knowing I can learn everything from everyone. I always have an open mind.
Me too. I feel like you can definitely make it farther by not having an ego rather than having one.
So, but let us know in the comments if you think it's a positive or negative thing to have an ego.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like the video. Peace.